It is shady day. Shady, shady, shady. We're doing the thing again, waiting on some people to show up. What's up? Anybody watching this video after the live? Because y'all are seeing what's up. May not get nobody. It's a little bit early today, but I figured I'd start this craziness a little bit early. Yep. What we're doing today is cleaning. Organizing. I have a giant disaster over here on this table. And I am going to try to square some of it away. What's up? Who is that? El Fuego? What's up, buddy? I was getting ready to do some organizing because my table is a complete disaster area. And I was like, well, why don't I bring my people along? See what kind of nonsense y'all can talk about today. Because you know, y'all get crazy. Somebody's got to cover for Andy while he's on break. And yeah, this is a mess. Let me show you. Hold on a second. It's a real train wreck. Yeah, there you go. You got a view. You can see. You see the big giant clutter. It's an absolute disaster. I'm going to be picking up stuff and trying to make some headway and see who shows up today. So how are you doing today? Out causing trouble? I'm still here. I'm just taking these headphones back in the back. I'm going to be making rounds occasionally, carrying stuff to a different area, but I am here. Who else showed up? Holy crap! There's a whole clan. What's up, guys? Anybody just showing up today? My disaster area is in camera. I am beginning the process of making some sense out of this. This is what happens when you do multiple big projects and you don't stop and do the thing where you put stuff away, because holy crap, man. The way I look at it, man, is I just keep it real. Everything about me is real. I don't hide anything. So with my big, huge mess, you guys know that your big, huge mess isn't anything different. Project, finish up. Oh, get to work, El Fuego. Cool beans, brother. Take care of your business. But I know that everybody has stuff they struggle with. Mine is organization. I don't struggle with it. I just don't do it. Well, no, I take that back. I do organize, but not in the way other people do. I know where everything is. My wife, she don't know where nothing I have is, unless she can see it, which in this case, she can. amongst all the rest of this stuff. But occasionally you got to stop the madness and just find the inspiration to take care of this, because it gets chaotic. Oh, I'm going to show you guys a couple things. This little voltmeter is my absolute favorite voltmeter, and I got this thing. I don't remember where I got it, but you can see it. I almost dropped it. You can see it. It does the stuff I want it to do, not a bunch of other crap. It has good leads that you can pretty easily work with. They're not too thick, and they attach to the thing. You can roll them back up around the little deal and stick them back in here. And they either come from Harbor Freight or the auto parts store. But it's got your volts, it's got your ohms, it's got a hold feature. It's just a really good little meter, and I don't think it costs very much. It's my favorite meter, my favorite little go-to meter. Yeah, no kidding, right? This one would be my favorite meter, but these leads, I absolutely hate these leads. When you're trying to manipulate, see it, look, this is the problem. You're trying to, and the wires want to pull stuff. I hate them. If I had some good soft leads for this would be my favorite meter. But it's not. It's my number 2. I have like 4, because you can never have enough voltmeters. Sean Tong drives your wife nuts. Yes, my wife absolutely is crazy. What is Guten Tag? Welcome. Hello. My bad. What's up, Bobby B? We are making we're looking at a mess. We're looking at it. So yeah, Fuego is on a project. He's on audio only. He's not watching chat. So keep your heads on that. He's got some kind of project he's working on, and he said he'd be listening, but he's going to be busy working on stuff. So, yeah, I'm trying to, something I never use, this thing. Got one, never use it. What I'm working on today, guys, is trying to, this is not going to go well. It's just not. Because there's just so much stuff. But I'm trying to organize my mess a little bit. And I started to do the stream outside, and we may end up outside here shortly. But right now I'm poking at this. Got this thing. This is a ferrule crimper. So if you guys are using the ferrules, you can get this one. This will crimp up to an 8 gauge. Once you put your 8 gauge in there and crimp it, it's so tight that it's kind of tricky to get it to break loose and come back out. But I wish they had this up to a 0 gauge. They don't. Because that would be the bomb. That'd be the schnizzle right there. But they don't. That goes up here. So I got this old pegboard that you guys have seen in the videos. Whenever this hobby place over here next to me had been there for like since like the 1960s. They had been there forever. Forever and ever and ever. I mean, like several generations of Sleeths. Mr. Sleeth's family ran that place forever. And the oldest of them died a number of years back. old man Sleeth, the guy that I knew of that ran the place. And with the internet, you know, being a thing for getting RC stuff, and their business had slowed quite a bit from that. The hobby was still big. There's still a lot of people that are into the RC cars and RC planes, and you got your drones, helicopters, you know, boats, all that kind of stuff. But the problem is the internet made being competitive nearly impossible. So their business had slowed, and then these other folks got a hold of the building next door. They bought it, the whole building, and they did a big remodel, which they're just now about to finish. Spent a lot of money on it, and of course they raised everybody's rent. So the businesses that were struggling, yeah, that didn't work out for them. Got same exact red Craftsman toolbox, same condition. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Well, mine's not a Craftsman, mine's an Iron Max. It's a little, it looks like a Craftsman. I don't have any Craftsman. I'm not that awesome. These are all Chinese knockoffs. But yeah, see, these are some heavy RCA cables. Anyway, so Mr. Sleeth went out of what's up? Scotty, yep, him. Scotty the Gotti. So Sleeth went out of business, and they were remodeling the store, getting ready for a new tenant to rent it, and I went over there and caught into it, and a few of the things that had been there forever and ever and ever was this pegboard that was used to handle all the RC car parts and stuff. Hey, somebody likes me. Somebody likes me. Corey Edger, $1.99. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. I could almost buy a taco. Hey, I started to list tacos in the video title today, but I decided that it would confuse people, so I didn't. Anyway, they went out of business, and one of the things that I scored was some of this pegboard, and I put it back up because, you know, I hated to see them go out of business. The people were awesome. All the people that ran over there, all those businesses, really good people. I even got to be friends with the lady that ran a dance wear. They sold the leotards and tights and little shoes for the kids to be ballerinas and tap dance and all that. Totally outside my element, but you know, I'm a people person, so I got to know them anyway, because that's how it works. And unfortunately, they had to close up shop too. So yeah, so now we got the grill place and the bike shop and the haircutting place and the vacuum cleaner guy. There's one more that I can't think of, but yeah, there's a whole lot of places that have been there that aren't there anymore. You know, they're like as long as I've been living up here and well beyond that, which is 20 plus years. So how are y'all doing today in this wonderful hot day? Well, I'm in here with my head up this table's butt. Oh, haven't never put this on. Guys, I need to. Video kill the radio star. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Video kill the radio star. That's one of those songs that was absolutely terrible, but for whatever reason, just stuck anyway. Had this thing forever and I've never hooked it up. This is a Cadence little line driver with an EQ. These old school guys. It has all the knobs and has all the channels. Man, it's got a main in, aux in left and right, sub in or sub out left and right, rear out left and right, front out left and right. Essentially, it's a 6-channel out, 2-channel in with an aux in. Saw my video on Rusticles. That's hands down the most insane bass build I've ever seen. That is the loudest demo I've ever received. And I've been in some really loud stuff, guys. I'm a demo magnet. So when I show up, and not everybody knows that I run a YouTube channel. Don't get me wrong. I'm not no celebrity, right? But a handful of people do. So those people will be standing around strategically, be like, hey, yeah, that guy over there has a YouTube channel. And then they go, oh. So whenever I get getting close, they grab me and throw me in the cab of their vehicle and try to crush my skull with bass. It is what it is. Let's see. It's old. Who is old? Are you calling me old? You let me get my cane. I'll get you off my grass. Hey, he's replacing those subs, by the way. Yeah, that thing's absolutely insane. From what I remember, all of them's up for sale, the whole setup. He's putting bigger, nastier things in there. So no, those subs are not old. Maybe a couple of seasons. So yeah. And it'll crush high 60s easily. And if he pushes everything right to the edge, he can bust 70s with it on the glass. So, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, they're heavy too. In fact, when I was there getting that demo, one of the subs had busted loose and was actually only partially attached. Side note, I love passing on little kernels of good things. Yeah, no kidding. It was like sitting on top of the other sub. This is 3/8 loom. This fabric loom, this squishy kind that pushes out. This will handle 1 alt gauge all the way down to about 4 gauge. So if you guys are wanting power wire loom, the kind that does, the squishy, 3/8 is a good size to get if you don't know. 3/8 works really good on, it covers really good on 4 gauge, and it leaves a little bit of a see-through on alt gauge. It's like, this is that loom, and this is 8 gauge. 8 gauge, it doesn't really fit tight, but on anything bigger than 8 gauge, it works really, really good. 8 gauge, it works, but it's kind of like a loose snakeskin kind of a feel to it. It doesn't quite work. But yeah, as I pull stuff in and out, I'm always like, the kitchen table is kind of my catch-all, which this kitchen table is no longer a kitchen table. It's this. So there's not a word for this. It's kind of a workbench, kind of a desk, kind of, it's mostly just a pile of my stuff. And I want y'all to know that my awesome wife has not said one single tiny word about this ever. She hasn't even given me a dirty look. How lucky am I, right? Not even a dirty look, man. I'm not going to stay on this right now. I want to come back to it. But, you know, I like to be busy doing something. So that's what we're doing. I've got a bunch more of these cleaning projects to do because I'm a cluttering person. I collect lots of stuff. I don't throw anything away. And sometimes that's a problem. Like this piece of wire, like anybody else in here would look at this piece of wire right here, this little piece of wire and this piece of wire, and just throw it straight in the trash can. Not me. No. No. This can be used for something, and I will end up eventually using it for something. Therefore, it has to stay. You see, and that's the problem that I have. Now, on one way of looking at it is, yes, I have an issue. Yes, sundown. I have an issue, and sometimes it causes a lot of clutter. It always causes a lot of clutter. But at the same time, whenever I need something, I usually have a version of it laying around that I can put into use. So it's good and it's bad. And the vast majority of the stuff that I use when I'm building is, CCA? Okay. Yeah, no, I do have a piece of CCA. Hang on a second, I'll show you. I have a little bit of CCA speaker cable, but I do have this. I have two pieces. I have this piece, it weighs nothing, and a blue piece. The reason this is pure CCA is from New Concepts, and it's very CCA, very aluminum. I use it occasionally in videos as for demos when I'm building something and I want to illustrate how something works. But primarily, the reason I have it's because I accidentally ordered this one day when I was ordering a bunch of stuff. I accidentally put the CCA version in my cart at New Concepts. And as much as I want to throw it away, I don't, because, well, look, it's a freaking chunk, you know, of CCA. Will I ever use it in anything? Probably not. But I do have that, and it's just an accident. What's funny is this little, ow. This little piece of alt gauge wire, little noodle of wire, is one of the ones I use to connect my two alternators together. The other one's in the Tahoe. This little piece of copper weighs about as much as that whole gob of CCA I had in my hand a minute ago. That's bonkers. All right. We've gotten down to where there's 50% table showing and 50% stuff. So we're going to go outside. Y'all ready to go outside? I'm ready to go outside. Yeah, I do like my New Concepts wire. I really do. I usually have stuff that I like and stuff that I dislike about products. What can I say bad about new concepts? Okay, so let me see here. Let me think on this a minute. I have some. I can say good and bad about pretty much everybody. This is a little short piece of the diamond wire from GP Car Audio. This is pure copper wire. It's high strand count, very heavy, it's oversized, and it's got a ridiculously tough, thick jacket. This particular piece survived the fire, the headway fire. It was in the flames. Some of the wires got burned up that were in the flames. This didn't. So what I like about it, it's clear, it's heavy, it's got good conductivity. It's a great piece of wire. What I don't like about it is it is stiff and hard to work with. Same thing with this. I'm getting there, baby. Right here. You spit the words out before I gotta. Y'all think I'm kidding? Hang on a second. Where's it at? Y'all think Bobby just predicted the future? You see that shit right there? America wire. This is what I was going to. Right here. Right there. Y'all see that? It says made in USA. It's GP Audio America wire. It's literally what I was picking up. Bobby said that. That's hilarious. What do I like about this? What I like about this is, number one, it is oversized. A lot of copper in here. The biggest thing is the double jacket. There's two different types of jacket material. You'll notice the white and the green. And number one, this is ridiculously fire resistant. Very, very, very tough. And yes, and the thing about the two colors of jacket is if you, hang on a second. Let's find, I need a tool. All right. I have the notorious kitchen knife. Yeah. So if you've got this under your car, running somewhere, and it's under here, rubbing on something, getting scuffed up, you see what happens? The white comes through. If you've having it rubbing and chafing on something, and you see that white, it stands out. And it lets you know, hey, maybe I need to address that. That's a thing, right? And the other thing is, the green's a little easier to cut through. The white is a little bit more abrasion resistant. It doesn't rub off as easy. So if you manage to rub your way through the green, that white's going to put up more of a fight. Take a little longer to get through. This is what separates real wire from this is alt gauge welding wire. It even says it right there. 1 alt flex whip welding wire. It is really good welding wire. But you see the jacket on that? See how thin it is? We start digging into that with the knife. It don't take but a hot second, and we got copper. And guess what we don't want? Whatever it is that's capable of rubbing through this insulation is probably made out of something that we don't want that wire to touch. Okay? It's probably gonna make grounded, and it's probably gonna be made out of steel. And we're going to have a bad problem, because the same guy that's likely running a bunch of this welding wire is probably on team no fuse. That tends to go together. So if you want to know what the difference between audio wire and welding wire is, fire. Welding wire works. I use it too. But what I will say is, if you're going to be running a run from front to back, It's going to go under the car, through the firewall, through the trunk, through metal, all that kind of stuff. Run audio wire from front to back. Run double jacketed GP America series. Run something that's got a really rugged, thick outer skin. When you get to the other end, if you want to use, I got that 20 wires that you're going to do all from the batteries and stuff, you can use welding wire there. It ain't likely to encounter any serious, attacks, because it's all, it's all pretty. You can dress it up. Use that black stuff I showed you, make it look really nice. But on your long runs where you're putting it in danger, use wire that's going to be able to take torture and not break, because that's where it's really important. There's a reason why the U.S. contractors putting up the cell towers and all that stuff, that's the reason why they use this America Series wire, because it works. It don't break. You can't afford to have your stuff break down, man. So, we're going to go outside. I'm done poking at this table right now. How about y'all? You ready to go outside? You go outside? Yeah, he's a good boy. All right, let's go outside. Don't you run off. He's a good boy. He's a good... Uh-oh. He's a good boy with a fat bottom. Fat bottom good boy. Oh, it's nice and hot and peaceful out here. Oh. Yeah, there's that Chevy truck. I'm going to show you all that truck. We're out here on the veranda on the carport. Y'all see that yellow and white Chevy back there? Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. I'm trying to talk that guy into trading it to me for that Ford. He's not going for it yet. But things do change, so he might. Yes, exactly. Bobby B, you the man. You're 100% right. But what do I not like about the GP America Series wire? It's stiff. Same with the other GP wire. They're both very stiff. If you're trying to run, if you want the wire to stay put and do its own thing and get into a position and hold it, it's great for that. But if you're trying to do tight corners and running up under and around, it's going to fight you all the way. Which is what I like about New Concepts wire. New Concepts wire is as flexible as a cooked spaghetti noodle. That stuff is like a piece of a weighted rope. It's awesome. There was something I didn't like about New Concepts wire. I think it may be a little bit undersized, like it's not as big of a copper amount, but I could be wrong about that. There was something, I just don't remember what it was. But overall, New Concepts wire is extremely, New Concepts, everything is all very, very well made. They carry a nice line. Recoil Audio also has a lot of good stuff. Message retracted. Wow, that's hideous. But if you guys are looking for, gotcha. GTO component coaxials, JBL. Well, let's say JBL is one of my go-to coaxial speaker setups. If I'm looking for a coaxial, specifically, like I know I'm not going to be running a sub, and I know I'm going to have to drive try to get all the bass I can out of a pair of 6.5s, right? The ones I'd go to in those scenarios are the JBL stadiums, the JBL clubs, the GTOs. I haven't heard, but I'm sure they are a similar thing. I do like the JBL stuff for the low end. They tend to be very good at reproducing low end without a subwoofer. So 100 millimeter of deadening mat. Well, that's easy. It doesn't take much material to change the mass of the panel you're trying to load. You could stick quite a few pieces of gum on there, and if you put enough on there, and you'll fix the ring on that panel. So depending on what you're trying to do, it's like, do I think a BB gun is good enough? Do I think a 22 is good enough? Depends on what you're poking at with it, right? Same kind of concept. So if you're just doing an SQ build and just a a normal street beater, not going crazy loud, just want it to sound good, 100 mils fine, man. I mean, you could run Noico has got, I don't know what the price is now, it may have changed, but Noico has you can get a box of like 50 square feet for like $50 or something like that, $40. I don't know, it's not much. And it's a pretty thin deadener, but I've used it in several builds, so it does work. You're not going to get that metal sounding like wood effect, but you'll lose the ring, which is what you're actually shooting for. A nightmare of a car to do a full install back in the day. The Oldsmobile Trofeo. Head unit and dash speakers had 98 wire harness plugs under the dash cover. The Oldsmobile Trofeo. What year model range is that? Because I know I was not a big Oldsmobile person. I was familiar with them, but Oldsmobile wasn't one of my cars that I ran a lot of. I ran a lot of the Ford LTD, the LTD2, the Thunderbirds, the Chevy Caprice Classic, a lot of the retired police cars and stuff. The Nova, some Jap cars. Oldsmobile just wasn't. I only had one Oldsmobile, and it was a complete piece of shit. And it wasn't Oldsmobile's fault. This particular car was just a piece of shit. But it did sound phenomenally good. It had a 260 V8. 260 V8. Dual exhaust, and the exhaust turned out right in front of the back tires on each side. That thing sounded like a monster, but it was a piece of shit. The dash, 88 to 94. There's a few vehicles where they done things like that, where you had to pull like 90% of the dash to do radio work. And here's my theory when it comes to that. Hell no. I'll leave that sucker in there and put the radio under the seat. Let that bad boy bump all by itself under the seat. I ain't pulling that shit out of there, because I know that when I get done, half the crap that was attached to the dash ain't gonna be attached back, and there's gonna be stuff that don't work. Dash is gonna rattle, stuff's gonna make all kind of noise, and hell no, I ain't gonna do that. It's like when we had a heater core. You know how we fixed heater cores back in the day on them old Fords? Yeah. You just run a little, you cut that off, and you ran a little hose from one to the other and just bypassed that whole heater core. And if that metal line broke off at the block, you just take a piece of wood, carve it down smaller on the end, just drive it in there with a hammer and let that water swell it up. It would never leak a drop. Man, we fixed up. We were ghetto, man. Honda Accord. Oh. Sacrifice to the audio gods and a wiring fire. Oh. Oh, Team No Fuse. 1984 Honda. That was the one that had the little black stripe on the back with the Honda in it right down there toward the bottom. That was, in my opinion, some of the best years for Honda, man. The mid-'80s had some really nice Honda cars. They weren't fast. They were fast to us. They weren't all that fast, but they would run for a month on 5 gallons of gas. So, and they would run forever. Just great cars. My accountant had me install a pair of 15s in a Nash Metropolitan, a Nash Rambler, baby. Well, a Metropolitan. He had already grown. He had already had ground up restored. Oh, hey, you know what, Carmel? Right now, they got a 1950s Volkswagen Bug in there that's completely restored, that they're doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff to. He gets stuff like that all the time. People bring in, classic hot rods that are just show ready and want to do crazy things. He does. I'm like, dude, I'd be scared to touch that stuff. 4 Fosgate 10s and an isobaric bandpass box. Boom! Boom! Oh man, I bet that slammed. Wow. Yeah, I would have definitely loved to hear that back in the day. So, Drew Bradley says, I used to compete with / against folks like Mark Facuta. I know that name. And Dave the Fish. Yeah, I know these names, but I don't know them like well. They're there, but the connections aren't all in my brain. But the day, what was the day? Was that in the early 90s? Yep. I called that shit. I'm going to tell you guys, this is a straight up fact. Prior to lithium, if your car burned down from an audio issue, you were Team No Fuse. That's the thing, man. The Fosgate Blazer, I know these guys, but I can't nail it down. Sorry, I've been feeling in my gut, I've been feeling like pressure and shit the past couple weeks, and it's probably just muscles pulled in there, but it bugs me, and I'm constantly messing with it, trying to, because I'm worried about stuff that, if you know, you know. And yeah, weirdo installs incorporating silly fish tanks into the builds. Fish tanks. Yeah, that was fish tanks were a big thing in the early 90s on lots of weird, crazy stuff. Water beds, in the late 80s, water beds were big and fish tanks were big, and people liked messing with water. And so, yeah, I could do it. Yeah, you're right. I've been to the doc, man. I had stage 4 prostate cancer, and I've been fighting that with hormone stripping medication and you know, the radiation dudes and all that kind of stuff. We're down to just the pills right now. No, the shot. I get a shot every 3 months that keeps my body from producing testosterone. So you talk about low T. How about no T? Yeah. I'm straight up going through hot flashes with my wife. And you ain't experienced life until you've had hot flashes 5 or 6 times a night. You know. Stage 4. Yeah. So that's what I get that in everything. I'm supposed to be. My PSA was a 2. No, it was a 1 point something. Last one. It was really low, but it's not 0. It's steadily going down though, so we're just, you know. But that's the stuff. That's the yeah. I can't take shots. I have to take shots to keep me from producing testosterone. If my body produces, I mean, I don't produce normal levels, but I still do produce testosterone. I have to take injections once every 3 months to stop the testosterone because the cancer eats that testosterone. It's food for the cancer. That's why it happens where it does in the prostate. It's feeding off testosterone. So I have to take shots to stop me from producing testosterone. So if you know how bad it is before you started taking shots, T-shots, imagine that, but worse. That's what yeah. So it's good times all around, man. But that's all the dying stuff. We don't talk about dying stuff. We talk about living stuff. And I'm gonna talk that boy out of that truck. Hang on a second. Let's go for a walk. Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. I'd love to be able to take a nice testosterone shots, man. I have some friends that take them, and I'm gonna shorten this thing up a little bit, make it a little bit easier to transport. All right, let's go over here and have a peek at this Chevy truck. Hey, you got the window down. We could steal it, but I'd have to bring it here, and he'd find it. Ain't that a cool old truck? And that is a 3/4 ton. It's got all the big lugs. It's got the big axle, 3/4 ton, single cab, long wheelbase, but got a little crunch in the back fender back there. But man, that's a cool truck though. The round headlights. That's all OG paint. The wagon wheels, the white. I mean, it's just a cool old truck. I would love it. It's got the 350 in it, and it don't run bad. It don't run bad at all. I like it. That's my favorite. But yeah, right. The 60s. It's got my favorite style. The way the hood and the front end's made. Oh man, a good sized box for 2.8 tuned to 28 hertz. My friend, that is a fool's question. Now this is what I'm trying to. The reason I say that is because that's not enough information, and I'm not a professional in that regard. This is what I want to trade him. See, this is a 96, I think, Ford F-250 4-wheel drive. It's 3/4 ton. It's got the big axles, and it's got a bed liner. I don't know. I don't think it's rusted out back there. The interior, if you guys have watched my channel at all, you know the interior is just almost perfect. Even the back seat back there. I keys in the house. Look at that. That interior is great. The headliner is great. It needs a new steering wheel cover thing where the horn goes, but it's clean. It's a clean truck. Yeah, it's got the buckets and everything. So it's a pretty clean truck, other than the rust down there, and around back here on the body and stuff. The frame and the springs are all let under there are solid. This back bumper is a joke. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. This whole piece on the top on both sides is rusted completely out. But this part's still good. Just needs to have some work done. But it's got good tires. It's got a new exhaust system under there. I mean, it runs great, charges good, shifts good, goes like hell. It'll, yeah, it goes like a beast, man. You see, I was out here making a mess earlier, so I got to clean this table up too. I normally have this one cleaned off though every day, so it don't ever get too bad. But I was working on, actually I'll tell you what I was doing. I had my beaver. Y'all know the beaver. The beaver eats anything. I think it's still plugged up. Beaver ain't no joke. So I had the beaver out here, and I got over here with the beaver, and I had a stump like that one. Had one right there. And I took the beaver to that, and I murdered it to death because I kept tripping over that damn stump. So I had to come up with a plan, and that's what I had handy. Yeah, baby. Oh, dude, that little saw. Look here, let me tell you. 3 tools that anybody gonna do any project need to have, besides the stuff that you probably do have, like a cordless drill. One of these, the beavers. One of these, a sawzall for the big stuff that can't do, and a Dremel. If you got those 3 tools, besides a jigsaw and a skill saw, if you got those 3 tools, man, you can do so much stuff. Right. One doesn't realize the convenience of having the cutty part on the end until you have one. So not only can you go like this and chop stuff, right angles and all that, but you can also dig into something and go sideways. Dude, you can murder things so creatively with a beaver. That is a that and my drill go to almost any job site that I go to. Them 2 dudes are right there. Right there. Let's have a seat. We're gonna sit down. Y'all tired of standing yet? Cause I'm gonna bust out the chair. I'm gonna break it out. Got this chair from a big truck. There we go. My legs cramped up. In my big truck, I had a little table that I made so I could play computer games and stuff when I wasn't driving, obviously. And this chair was my gaming chair in there. See what y'all are talking about. What we got going on here? The Harbor Freight, $19. Yes, this one I got off the internet. I don't know. I paid something like that for it. Ordered it off the internet, Amazon, and I beat the tar out of this. So if y'all want one of these, look up this brand right here. I have absolutely beat the tar out of this thing, and still using the original blade it came with. It is not today I cut up a big ass stump with it today. Chewed it. It was smoke was coming out of the wood. Yeah, it was fantastic. State, I'll tell you, I live in Springfield, Missouri. I don't hide nothing. Like I said, I'm a wide open book, guys. You've seen all of my secrets out. My dirty little corners and my crappy table and, all of it. I mean, I don't hide nothing. Ain't no reason to try to hide nothing. This is what it's all about. I've been real since the day I was born, and it ain't going to change anytime soon. But yeah, it's my address. My post office box is in my information, so that tells you where I'm at, what town I'm in. If you want to come by and visit, that's cool. We'd hang out, bring some food, and we'll, You have that one too. Yes, that thing's unbelievable. I beat the crap out of that, and it ain't never give up. But yeah, you can come by and we'll cook some barbecue. Just hit me up in the email. I'll give you my address. Come by. We'll make some barbecue. I'm thinking about making some pork chops. Y'all, I don't think I've ever done pork chops on the grill. I know that's a sin, right? Because of course everybody's done pork chops on the grill. I've done steaks on the grill, done burgers, I've done chicken, hot dogs and wieners and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I've ever done pork chops on the grill. I do like a good pork chop. Wood, drywall, metal, yes. This one, it says it's rated. Like I said, this is one that came with the tool. And it's still pretty pokey. It ain't as sharp as it originally was, but it's still got some pokey to it. And it's for wood and plastic and soft metals. And it has done quite a lot of damage to several vehicles. Quite a lot of wood. So, but it is what it is. I swear by stuff that works. The people, you guys know I support CustomSpeakerPods.com. And the reason is because I bought them multiple times and put them in multiple vehicles, and it has been 100% success rate. I've been absolutely 100% happy with every single product from them. When I did have an issue where I accidentally ordered 2 sets, I shot them an email. That was on a Saturday night. I ordered 2 sets and I only needed 1 set on a Saturday night. And I was like, oh crap, I'd already run it through. So I sent them an email and explained what I did. Sunday morning, I got an email back from them saying, oh, we saw what you did. We already took care of it for you. Thank you. And they said, we even threw in some extra stickers into your order. Dude, that right there, that was all it took from me. I'm locked in, man. I swear by them because they're awesome. It's just that straight up. How do I know what amperage high output alternator to get? Okay, that's a good question because it's not as simple as you would think it would be. I mean, the obvious answer is more is better, but that's not the truth. The thing about high output alternators are the ones that are designed to kick out a lot of power usually will work well if you got the RPMs up, but if you're idling, they usually don't produce nowhere near as much power. They can even be significantly less than a stock alternator if they even put out any power at all at idle. So my answer to your question is it depends on what you're planning to do with your system. If you're going to go into Sets, offset horns, image dynamics. Some. We'll get back to you in a second. If you're planning on sitting and doing demos and idling, then specifically get an alternator that has the highest idle amperage output you can get. Specifically idle output. And if you're going to go get in the lanes and try to get the biggest boom you can get for 30 seconds, you're going to be revving the engine, get the highest amperage output alternator you can get, period. Because those are two different uses. And if you're asking me this question, odds are you're going to be a daily driver and occasional demos. In that case, I would look for the highest amperage at idle you can get for an alternator. It's probably going to be somewhere around 200 amps, maybe 220, something like that. If it says that if it's anything higher than that, it's probably bullshit. It's going to be somewhere around a 180 up to about 220. That's the range that you'll probably find. But that doesn't mean if it's a 220 amp alternator, it's at idle. You got to find out what it does at idle. And if the company won't tell you what it does at idle and what it does at 2,000 RPMs, you don't want to buy an alternator from them anyway. 2,000 watts, yeah, just get you a high amperage at idle alternator, and you'll be totally happy with that. That'll carry you up to much bigger stuff later whenever your crack addiction kicks in real good and you've got 418s in the back. And it just keeps going. Bass doesn't stop. You don't just smoke crack once. You start and then you keep going. See, same concept. Yeah, but no, the thing is, having an alternator that kicks out good current at idle is going to be helpful. If he's getting started, got 2,000 watts, that's only the beginning. It's only going to get worse. So you might as well go ahead and stick your whole leg in the water and get wet, because I'm glad you're thinking about electrical right now and not just, trying to stack up a big 5,000 watt amplifier and expecting your, 100 amp alternator that's already doing everything else to somehow magically produce power. It is what it is. But you're going to benefit pretty good from a second battery, so keep that in mind. If you go to if you're doing 2,000 watts, if you got 200 amps of free power, then you won't be dipping into your batteries at all for now. But later, when you upgrade, you will be. So you'll be wanting to add a good strong battery. Phoenix Gold 20 years ago, there were 220 amp alternators for the 4.6 liter Ford. $3,000. Yeah, if you're trying to budget, yeah, JS, if you're trying to budget, I can tell you what you're looking for. I don't know what vehicle it is, but what you want is the service, the severe duty alternators that come on police cars, tow trucks, ambulances, fire trucks, all that stuff. They all have an extreme duty version of the alternator, and they're all designed to make their maximum amount of current at idle, because they literally sit there and run for hours at a time, powering lights and all that kind of stuff, radio equipment. Those severe duty factory severe duty alternators, well, if you can find them, you can usually get them for next to nothing in a junkyard, and they will run for freaking ever. Excellent choice for alternators, but it only works if you happen to have a vehicle that matches up to some of the stuff. So not everyone can make use of them. But yeah, the severe duty alternators for the police cars, ambulances, tow trucks, that's the jam. service trucks. And there's I don't remember, but there's a code on them. There's a couple ways you can tell them. You can look at the casing and tell, but I don't remember what the difference is. And also there'll be a code on them, and the code and the serial number or the number on them will have a specific nomenclature in there that determine that tells you that it is an extreme duty or a severe duty setup. So, passing on a word to the wise from the old and stupid, which is me. I've only got one like. I know at least 5 or 6 of y'all like me. Come on, man, hit that thumbs up. I got one. And one little lonely thumb, and that was El Fuego. I know who did that. I saw him do it. I saw him. That's okay. I ain't gonna hold y'all to it, man. I'm easy going like that. I am finna cut it short here in a minute, though. I normally try to stop between somewhere an hour and 2 hours, depending on how busy the chat is and how much rambling y'all are doing. But since everybody's being quiet, I guess it's getting close to that time. I'm not very much entertainment without help. I don't have a. You notice it's called unscripted. I got no script. El Fuego buying tacos today. Hell yeah, El Fuego. You show them how to do it, brother. You the man. Did you get done with your project yet? No kidding, dude. Too much stuff. Time to thin the herd. Yeah. Well, no, your herd is deep, dude. You got like all the amplifiers. You know, if you moved your whole house and just left the walls of amplifiers standing around, you'd probably still have a couple rooms. Just amplifier-ready rooms. They just stand up there by themselves. I know you got amp walls all the way around your room just covered in amps. I don't have nearly that collection. I do have a few old ones, though. And I've given away a whole lot of my old stuff. I give away stuff all the time, guys. 55 minutes to the deadline. Sir, kick it into gear. Gerald Kirkland. Oh, son, I don't know. I do not know. But yeah, I had a guy come by a few weeks ago, and I was buying something from him. I don't remember what it was. What was it? I don't remember. I was buying something from him, but it ended up, when I was out there, his amp had blew up. And I said, hey, I got an amp. He said, oh man, I can't afford to buy it. I'm just trying to get the money to, from whatever it was I bought from him. He was happy that I bought it because he needed that money, And I said, hang on a minute. And I went in there and I had it's an older 2-channel amp, big son of a bitch, but I think it was like 1,000 watts, bridged. I brought it out there to him. I said, here, this thing's huge, but it works. He's like, holy crap, and blah, 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 blah. Helped him put it in and everything, got him bumping again. I do that crap all the time. I think I'm so given that it's plumb stupid a lot of times. I give away so much stuff. I was pulling 4 subs out of my Tahoe and changing out to the 4 that I got in there now. I turned around and handed 2 of the subs and one of my amps to my buddy and said, here, man, take these to your house. He's like, I just handed him like $1,000 worth of equipment and he just took it home. That's how that goes, man. Oh my goodness gracious, dude. But then every now and then, like here recently, Danny hooked me up. He bought me an amp. El Fuego gave me $10. Drew said my family used to manufacture some of the first amplifiers sold to Alpasonic, but it was MG Bradley. They were okay for the late 80s. MG Bradley. Why does that sound familiar? I think it's because of Milton Bradley. The company Milton Bradley. I think that's why it sounds familiar. It's Milton Bradley. MB. Yeah, that's definitely what's stuck in my head. El Fuego says, I really like swapping equipment and having something to play with. Also, giving stuff to people that appreciate it. Brother, I can totally relate to both of those statements. It's like I was asking myself, and I had to ask myself because nobody else asked me pretty much anything. So why do I have so many 4-channel amplifiers? Well, I could give some away and just keep these. Maybe I could trade some of these for something else. And then I'm thinking, but I wouldn't want to trade this one or this one because this reason. I couldn't trade them. No, I'm just going to keep all of them. They all do different things, man. They all have different meaning to me. I'm like, some of them are mine on permanent loan, but they're on loan to me as long as I want them. But started as CB amplifiers, then converted over to car audio amplifiers. Nothing special. You know what? You can make a car audio amplifier out of a what's it called? Power inverter. Yeah. It takes quite a bit of stuff, but all the basics are there. I mean, for a monoblock amplifier. Power inverter, there's a good chunk of stuff you have to add, but all the big bones are there. All the big components are already there. Same thing with an amplifier. A big enough amplifier, you can turn it into a power inverter. In fact, if you've got an amplifier that'll give you around 100 watts, around 100 volts output, you put in a 60 hertz sine wave, hook the 2 speaker wires up to the prongs of a skill saw to go and run. Yeah. It's AC current, baby. You just 60 hertz and it's just going to spin. It's going to do the thing. Yeah, that's what he just said. Yeah, you can run power tools, light bulbs, whatever. And not only that, it's pure sine wave. It's not even a modified sine wave. It's a nice, clean sine wave. If you keep it going, you can chooch with it. Now, the thing about most of your power inverters is it is a modified sine wave. So you'd have to have a pure sine wave inverter just to start with it. So you'd have the ability for it to switch smooth enough to actually produce a clean sound. But yeah, all the components are there. Most of the big ones anyway. 24 amps recap in the last 12 months prior to selling them, and now I don't want to sell any of them. Oh, son. I know. I'll tell you what I want, El Fuego. I don't have any amps with the little meters on them, the little needles that dance. I want like a 2-channel or a 4-channel amp that has little dancing meters on there. That's what I want. I don't care what it is, as long as it works and it has little meters. I don't have any of those. I need one. Yeah, it happens sometimes, man. That's Drew. Drew, we're on the same. Our brains are hooked together right now, apparently. But yeah, I'm putting together a stash. Yeah, I don't have anything like that. I'm putting together a stash of stuff for an SQ build, a pure SQ build in the future. It'll be a straight SQ build, and one of the things I want is a 2 or a 4 channel amp that has the little meters that dance. That's the only qualification. Yamaha would be cool. Stant. Yeah, those would be cool. Stant would be cool. Like I said, I don't care about how much power it is. 40, 50 watts or more per channel, that's totally fine. It's just I want that for the look, and that's going to be incorporated. I'll incorporate it in the build somewhere to where it's obvious. And if you guys seen I forget who it is that has it, but there's a car head unit that's got this cool digital version of the analog meters, and it's a factory head unit. It's can't remember the brand name associated, but I want something like that too. I want to have the VU meters bouncing up there in the dash, like around the head unit or over where the glove box is, somewhere up there. Have that up there with some light, mood lighting behind it to make it kind of glow. I want that whole soft, old school kind of a studio feel. That's what I'm going for, like an old school recording studio with the lights turned almost all the way off to where you can just barely see the controls, and everything's got a little bit of glow from the vacuum tubes, kind of making things glow a little bit, you know, and you see the glow behind the pots and stuff. I want that feeling, right? Macintosh, yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it, Jason. You nailed it. It's definitely what it is. But I want that feeling in the cockpit, right? I want the little warm, you know, the old aged colored yellow kind of worn little gauges over here bouncing, maybe a small VU meter doing something, a mellow sound, not a real bright sound, a nice mellow sound with a large soft dome tweeter rolled off at like 18 kilohertz, so it's not bitey at the very top, you know. Low power on the 3s, more power on the 6s, get a little more warmth in there. Just perfect. I can set the thing up, I can hear it and I can see it. And that's the system that I want to build, the SQ system I want to build. I want all bottom lighting in the car, so every light source that comes on comes out from behind something. And there no dome light, like around the edge, have like a ridge, and the lighting a bit above it, so it just light up the roof, and not, you know, I hate lights right in my eyes. Oh, no kidding. Shoot, dude, I don't care. That'd be awesome. The Macintosh? Oh, dude, that would be great. Dude, I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for that. But that's something I really like. I would like to do. I'd like to have. A Mac would be really awesome. But I don't really care about what brand it is. Just, you know, that'd be awesome. So I'm down with that. Be sure and send me an email though if you do, be sure and send me an email so I can keep track of packaging and all that stuff. Make sure I'm tracking a package, you know what I'm saying? SQ amps that were made in the USA back in the 80s. You got Rockford. Dude, let's put it this way. I'll let you know. I ain't gonna just say, send me candy, because that ain't the way I am. But I'll keep you in mind, El Fuego. I'll keep you in mind. I've when I get ready to do that build, when I figure out what it is I don't have that I do need, that's when I'll let you know. Fair? But I want the meters. I want that to start with. I know I'm going to be using that. Yeah, dude. Look here. I'm going to tell you straight up. You send it to me, I'll use it in content. I'll make videos about it. And I'll put it in a build eventually. I don't know when it's coming, but probably... I'll tell you a secret. When I sell this truck, this Ford truck, I'm probably going to trade it or sell it and get a small four-banger, a little small car or a little small truck, something that gets better gas mileage. The thing that I get from that is going to become my daily driver. The Tahoe is going to become sidelined as a pure build vehicle. That's my plan. And once that happens, the daily driver that I get, that's going to be the SQ build. Nobody wants it, even though it's all brand new in box. They all want new brands or never heard of the old school stuff. Oh, dude. Yeah, I ate that stuff up. Someone's take on Phoenix Gold. Phoenix Gold is about, I give all my brands a rating, okay? And if a brand does a lot of stuff, I give them a rating, a percentage rating. And what the percentage rating is if you take every single thing that brand sells, all right, and every item, and you give each item a 1% to 100% rating on how good it is, or how good it is for the amount of money you pay for it. All right, and then you take all that and sum it together. That's how I get the brand rating that I give. For example, JL Audio is about a 98% rating, meaning that 98% of their stuff gets 100% rating. That's really consistent. Sundown Audio, about a 85 to a 90% rating. Sundown actually has some stuff that ain't worth buying. So forth and so on. That doesn't mean that other 90% isn't extremely good, but this is the rating. When it comes to Phoenix Gold, today, Phoenix Gold's got about a 50 or 60% rating. The stuff that's good is phenomenal. And the stuff that's not phenomenal is not good. Phoenix Gold, if I remember correctly, Phoenix Gold is actually used to be owned by Stinger, or Stinger used to own Phoenix Gold, or there's a family connection here. DD Audio, the old school Phoenix Gold, yes, old school Phoenix Gold was on fire. 100% no problem. But they were more limited as to what they did. The new stuff, like I said, hit and miss. Memphis, are you talking about the M series? Is that, are you talking about, what are you talking about? You know, old M series. Are you talking about DD Audio? I am not a connoisseur of DD Audio. That being said, I'm not going to diss them in any way, shape, or form. I think they've become more of a reseller, kind of like most other car audio manufacturers are now. They slap their name on something and it looks like a good deal and resell it. Most companies are, that's kind of what they are. They may have some proprietary stuff, but they've also got stuff that they have nothing to do with. They just go, hey, that's cool, put our name on that. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm sorry. And I dare say that every single car audio company out there does that at least a little bit. There it is, modern Phoenix Go amp. Yeah, I know. That's why I said Phoenix Gold's about a 60%. I will say that some of their three-way sets, their three-way speaker sets, are really good. But again, it's just rebadged stuff that pretty much anybody can get made. It's gotten to where, other than just a very small handful of manufacturers that are manufacturing primarily boutique stuff, pretty much everything that you buy is something that come off of a Chinese manufacturer's catalog. It is what it is. Does that mean it's bad? No. It might be, and it might not be, just like anything else. But it's you know, it loses some of its flavor. I'm not sure. A Luma Pro? I'm not sure about that. No, I don't know. I don't know the name. But like I've tested several Recoil audio products. So far, I can't give them any bad credits. Everything that I've tested, everything that I've messed with quite a bit, has been up to solid standards and sometimes far beyond what I expected. Anybody that's purchasing products from Recoil or from the same people that they get from are going to have that same quality product. The problem is, I can get the product from Recoil for $20 where I'd have to pay $60 to get it from somebody else with a different name on it. That's the problem. It ain't that the equipment's not good. It ain't even that the prices are not good. It's that somebody else is cheaper, and it's like, it's the same thing. That's why I said stop buying name brands. Look at modern stuff. Look at the product, not the name brand, because you're just paying for literally a nameplate. A lot of times that's all the difference in between this, and this is just whose name is on the case. That's the problem. So it's complicated. Cove. Okay, so I bought a new set of Cadence ZX600. They're just in the mid to late 90s. Cadence, okay? The surrounds need replacing. Yes, they will absolutely be destroyed. Might be older than that. Once repaired, I would not even want to venture a guess, but I will say this. If your surrounds are cooked, and you do a good job on replacing them, odds are anybody else that has any of those drivers have also had to replace the surrounds also, unless you're just lucky enough to have had someone who kept them out of the sun, kept them in the dark. Then the surrounds will have lasted. But for the most part, any that you see are going to be reconditioned as well. So whatever the prices will be on those, you should be in the same bracket as those. But take your time and do the repair right. Do it nice and clean. That's important. All right, so hang on a second. Let's go down. They're new old stock though, so they're even better. Yeah, new old stocks from the 90s. Gotcha. Yeah, I know. I get it that they're brand new. But what I'm saying is, once you have to resurround them, anybody else that's selling them is still going to be you're going to be in the same bracket as them. They're almost all going to be repaired. Let's see. Linear Power is still selling the U.S. made amps 2x150. And Linear Power, as far as I know, are still a very good quality product. And I have a little bit of experience with them, but not a lot. Like the best place to go, in my opinion, is to hit up pawn shops, flea markets, yard sales, places like that. Carry a 12 volt drill battery with you and some wires, and keep that in your car where you can just reach back there and grab it, and you can plug up an amplifier and see if the light comes on. That's going to give you about a 90% chance that it works. If you get that light to come on and it don't go to protect, it's probably going to work. It's got all the screws, you know. Even if it's old and scratched up, man, you can sand that bad boy down, take that shell off, sand it down, and use a bed liner on it, make it look awesome. Awesome. And have a killer amplifier for next to nothing. But you have to be on the hunt for those things. I don't remember how many, but there are several sets of pairs of Soundstream SPL 160s in the back room too. SPL 160, Soundstream SPL 160s. SPL 160s. That is an amp. What is that? I'm not sure. I'm trying to draw. I went to SPL show Sunday. Oh, was you? No, this last Sunday? That wasn't us. Ours will be this coming up Sunday. It will be small, but the people out there are awesome. I'll be out there, so hopefully the rest, St. Charles, yeah. That was a good show. It wasn't going to be big though. And the one we got coming up this Sunday, it ain't going to be big either. Probably going to be similar, if I had to guess. Maybe a tad bit bigger than what would happen in St. Charles. Because it's a Midwest SPL. Well, I'm betting that other one was a Midwest SPL too, wasn't it? Springfield, Missouri. Yeah, that's the thing about the component speakers. It's the old component speakers is there's materials just deteriorate. If you got some that have like the plastics, one of the plastics cones, and has the plastic voice coil or an aluminum voice coil, or Kapton coil, and the surround is not that foam, they tend to work fine. Still yet, what are you going to do with them? You know, if you're going to put them in a car, you're going to put them on power, they're not going to be as good as brand new at this point if they're 30 years old. So more than likely you'd be putting them in a display at home, putting them on power, small amount of power, whatever. It's kind of an oddball thing unless you're just a collector and just wants to put them on the wall or to have them so you can show them. All those things are relevant, but it's tricky. It's a tricky world. And old speakers there's a market out there. There are collectors, but they're straight up collectors for the most part. Yeah. Cones look like bullets. Yeah. Some materials hold up fine though, man. Like you'd be surprised if it's a formulation of plastic or if it's paper. there's a real good chance that that material is still completely fine. The surround is going to be the real storyteller, though. That's the one that's the weak link for any speaker. If it's the foam stuff they used in the late '80s, yeah, or even up to the mid '90s, that foam, it's as soon as you touch it with your finger, it's just going to turn straight into dust, man. Just. But the beautiful thing about that is you can scrape that. It comes off real easy, and then you can just order a refoam kit, a surround kit. It's just a ring, and stick it right on there, and Bob's your uncle. Because I mean, what you're looking at, the Spider is carrying the load. That you can play a speaker without even having a surround. All it does is just add a little bit of control to the outside of the cone. As long as you're controlling the outside of that cone and keeping it from getting all floppy and loosey-goosey, you know, I mean, all the parts that make it work are still going to be pretty solid. So. I don't know, Jubs, no, come to Sunday, Springfield, Missouri. Carmil Car Audio, CARMIL. Look it up on the Google, and then tell it to go there. Sunday, get there, you know, by 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll be there probably about 8 or 9. Purple, yeah, plastic, yeah. That'll probably be fine, man. Recon that shit. Rock 'em. I have no idea, man. Not even remotely. I wouldn't even remotely want to guess at what they might be worth. That number can go all over the place. I mean, it's like a baseball card. You know. There will be, Carmel will have a display out there, and there will be stuff out there. Not a tremendous thing, but yes, there will be stuff available for purchase. Like I said, it's a smaller scale event, not a big, huge crowd. You know, it's family-friendly atmosphere and very relaxed and chill, with lots of thunder. Lots and lots of deep, gut-wrenching thunder. Chuck Sanders. Yeah, interesting. Jason says, look up Chuck Sanders. He rebuilds lots of subs and decades experience. There's tons of universal parts. Yeah. Last week, this week in Springfield. I don't know. Show up this coming Sunday. Be there, be square. 12-inch church subs with no soft parts. Hertz doesn't sell parts. These were $600 a piece. Anything can be done. But listen to what Jason said. Jason gave you good advice. But yeah, anything can be done. Whether or not it should, or what should be done and what shouldn't be done, that's a whole different matter. And what you plan on doing with it is also relevant. Do you want the thing to work so you can pound the crap out of it, or do you want to make it perfect so that you can sell it, or do you want to make it look perfect so that you can put it on your shelf and collect it? All these different elements, you know, they're all different answers. So, yeah, Jason's got his stuff together. As two of my go-to people is Jason and El Fuego. El Fuego's the collector, though. He's the reaper when it comes to all that stuff. He's got a monstrous collection, like. But there's the guy, I'll tell you who has a really big collection also. Sell him, yeah. Who has a really big collection now. What's his name down there? And he's also in Missouri. I got to think of his name. Rick's Car Audio. Crane, I believe it is, Missouri. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. His store, the front of his store, he's got, you know those little things that you had the posters on at Walmart where there was a poster and had another poster on the other side and you kept flipping through them, right? And there's posters, 2 posters each time. And he's got a thing like that with walls and inside there's amplifiers. Just page after page from floor to ceiling of these wall chunks on hinges that are covered in all these old school amplifiers now. Yeah, you'd have to go there. So, yeah. Like, I'm not even scratching the surface of what this man's got in his store. It's crazy. So, like, he's got tons and tons and tons of old gear. And I hear a freaking ice cream truck. And that ice cream truck can go jump off a bridge. 'Cause I got ice cream at home. Yeah, you got to check him out. If you have a chance to stop by Rick's Car Audio in Crane, Missouri, you want to. It's pretty insane. You'll be very jelly. Hard to figure out the website. Stuff's made 2 years ago. Seems like sent them on Facebook groups. And they like need a show in St. Louis. It was like they need a show in St. Louis, and they said it was one this week. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know nothing about St. Louis, man. As far as shows go, we have there are some that pop up on the outside edges of St. Louis and some of the towns up there, but I don't ever get up there. I can't afford to drive to any of these outside town. I pretty much stay around here. Man, I'm gonna tell you, the best move I ever made was straight up putting a wall in that Tahoe. That wall sounds better. I don't just mean louder. I mean sounds better than the boxes I had in there before. The sound is better. It's got a much wider frequency that it plays. It plays as high as I want it to play. It'll play well up into the hundreds. Some subs will. Way up into that. I had them up to like 130, 140. I ran out of signals to put on them, but it was still just pounding it. They don't lose. They just keep reproducing. Super clean. You won't be unhappy with a wall. Yeah, you won't be unhappy with a wall, man. A wall is going to make you happier. The question is, how happy? So, depending on what all your goals are, and I'm not the expert, I can regurgitate things that I know, but I'm not the expert. But depending on what your goals are, 6th order, 4th order, or a flat wall, those are the 3 that I know the most about. 6th order is going to give you more range tonally than a 4th order, but it's harder to get a 6th order right. It's a trickier build. 4th order, if you do like a 3-to-1 or a 2.75 to 1 or even a 2.5 to 1, you're going to get a pretty good frequency range out of them, and they're going to be loud. 3-to-1's kind of what I've seen work consistently, you know. Good times, man. Good times. Have fun with that dinner. But yeah, a 4th order with a 3-to-1 chamber is pretty consistently going to give you good results. So, and that's the three times the space that you have in the bottom chamber and the top chamber, and then the top chamber ported into your front stage. Hey, the guys on YouTube said I should steal your truck. I told them I wouldn't get very far. I live right here. You'd just come out and it'd just be parked over here. You'd be like, what the hell? Maybe he was drunk when you came in, huh? And parked in my driveway instead. Yo, he's hilarious. You too, boss. That was obviously the guy that come out that owns that Chevy pickup. You know what's cool about him? He works with his dog. He's got his dog with him every day. His dog comes to work with him. So his dog comes to work with him, stays there with him all day while he's working, and leaves with him. They're together 24 hours a day, him and that dog. And a very friendly little dog. Yeah, it's a nice old truck, man. Anyway, we are getting ready to shut her down. So, this show has been sponsored by El Fuego. Rick's, yeah. Yep. Just make it a trip, man. Head to Rick's. I'll tell you a couple places to hit. Hit Rick's and stay there. And when you get bored doing that, head on into Republic, Missouri, and stop at E's Diner. E's Inn. Capital E, apostrophe S, N, I-N-N. E's Inn. And get some food. Order the burger and stuff and blow you away to food. And then you head on into Springfield and you'll be up here where I'm at. That's my jam. Thank you, El Fuego. Did you finally get done? So we stalled around for a while hoping you'd come back, but you know, a preamp through a DSP. Damn, that was loud. I do that. I gonna run a preamp through a DSP only for fine tuning. I'd have to do some thinking about that one. I don't want to give you a fast answer. I'll hit me up in the comments or hit up my email and we'll talk more about it. I want to give you a good answer, not a fast answer. Oh, I see a chair I need to go steal. Hang on a second. Let's go get this chair. Somebody done left me a chair. Y'all watch. I'm going to show you. Show you how this works around here. Hang on. For those of y'all that are still around, you're going to get to see me grab me something. Now see this place? I'm telling you. That's how I got my barbecue grill. Now y'all watch this. Keep watching. For those of you still around, you're going to get to see me ground score. I just spotted this little sucker. And I need me another chair. I only got the one. Check this out. So they set stuff out here. And when they do, if you're watching for it, you catch it. And you can get some good stuff. And look what I found already. Y'all already see. And look at this. It's got a little rip in that seam. I bet you I can fix that right there. That whole thing is perfect. Perfect. All I need to do is get in here and stitch up this rip right here. Bob's your uncle. And I can sew. It's even got the pad on the arms and everything. We got us a rocking chair. How y'all like that? Ground score. I go with my grill. Telling you, man. I score stuff all the time like that. I got all these little pieces of wood. And, I get stuff over here sometimes and give it away. Like several bicycles I've given away that I picked up over there. They were all functional bicycles. I guess somebody come by looking for a bicycle, one of these homeless folks. And they'll be like, man, yeah, I was hoping I'd find one. And I say, I got one for you. Oh, no way. I said, yeah. And I go back there and bust out a bicycle and say, here, you know. Like I said, easy come, easy go. Now we got a matching, well, a non-matching set. I'm gonna fix that one though, because it's got the rockers on it, man. See, we can rock in this bad boy. And I know y'all are thinking, I wonder how much that thing costs. Yeah. Little repair. Right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But, whew, yeah, if you know, there's a few people around that I see them all the time. They're local divers, you know, they come out here and dive in the dumpsters. And they'll come by, and they've already know, I've seen them so many times, they'll come by and ask me, hey man, you seen anything cool? If they see me outside. One guy would come by, he'd always talk to me. I told him one day, I said, man, he said, you looking for anything? And I said, yeah, I need some little shelf brackets, you know, the little brackets that you put shelves on. I need some of them, and I need some of the little hooks that go on a pegboard where you can put stuff on the pegboard. He said, oh, I got some of that. So I'll hook you up. It's all right, peace, man. You know, when he left, I figured I wouldn't see him again. Then he comes back. That evening, knocked on the door. My wife answered the door. I didn't even know. She come in the room. She had this box. He had a whole box. Had a whole box full of brackets and hooks for the pegboard. Just a box, like a boot box, full of these things. And that's one of those guys that I'm always talking to. Sometimes you know, if I find something that I know is cool, I'll stash it, and whenever I see him, I'll give it to him when he comes by, you know. But maintaining a good relationship with people that, thank you, maintaining a good relationship with scrappers and junk and dumpster divers is a good thing, because, you know, if you stay in the loop, you're less likely to be victimized by somebody who sees a pretty easy score off your driveway or whatever, right? You know, just being in good relations with these people is a good thing. But anyway, and they're all pretty cool people. I don't have any bad ones. And when I see somebody new, I'll be like, hey man, be sure to pick up everything around when you get done. Don't leave a mess, and there won't be any issues. Take what you want, have fun. And that communication stops all the problems. They'll always clean up after themselves and leave it looking right. You know, it's cool stuff, man. I have interesting relationships with people. I really do. I'm unconventional. But I am tired, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get back in the AC, and I'm going to rest a bit, then I'm going to go work on that table some more. I got to get that done eventually, at least by winter, because I'm going to start doing some live streams from that area, and I needed to have it all set up. I'm going to have it kind of set up like Andy rolls, like Discount Andy. I'm going to be Discount Bargain Basement Andy. But I also make sure I'm never on at the same time he is. Anyway, guys, peace.